but that Democrats and many Republicans are worried about, and that's the CBO's projection that as many as 12 million Americans could lose Medicaid coverage because of this law. What is the NEC's estimate for how many people could lose coverage?
Well, yeah. Let's unbundle that a little bit, because first on the CBO coverage. So what are we doing? So what we're doing is we're asking for a work requirement, but the work requirement is that you need to be looking for work or even doing volunteer work, and you don't need to do it until your kids are 14 or older. And so the idea that that's going to cause a massive hemorrhaging in availability of insurance doesn't make a lot of sense to us. And then if you look at the CBO numbers, if you look at the big numbers, they say that people are going to lose insurance. About 5 million of those are people who have other insurance. They're people who have 2 types of insurance, and so therefore if they lose one, they're still insured. And so the CBO numbers on that side don't make any sense to us at all. But on the other side, go back to 2017 when we had work requirements for Obamacare, and they said that we'd lose about 4 million insured between 2017 and 2019, and about double that over the next 10 years. And in fact, the number of insured went up quite a bit, by more than 10 million over those 2 years, because the bottom line is the best way to get insurance is to get a job. And we've got a big, beautiful bill that's going to create a lot of job creation and a lot of insurance, and the CBO is just not accounting for that. Well, and again, they need to go back and look at all the things that they got wrong. You realize that they're underestimating Medicaid spending by 20%. They should look back at all the things they got wrong and explain what they're going to do to get it right in the future and to do a better job. And if they do that, we'll take them more seriously. But right now, I don't think any serious thinker could take them seriously, because they've been so wrong for so long. Even back, if you go back to when President Obama passed Obamacare, they got every single number there wrong about how many people would get private insurance and how few people would get Medicaid and so on. And so their record in this modeling space is about as bad as it's possible to be. In fact, you could kind of roll the roulette wheel and come up with a better set of numbers, a better track record history than CBO.
Kevin, what about the enhanced subsidies? Is that number wrong too, that the ACA allows about $705 for people to help pay for their health insurance? That doesn't sound like the waste, fraud, and abuse that I know you and the president have talked about eliminating. That just sounds like people who cannot afford coverage, and now it's going to be even more so with these subsidies gone.
Right. Well, what if you're looking at the change in the tax on the providers, which is something that has been a key talking point for the Democrats. They say that that's going to close down rural hospitals. What has happened is that rather than let the states have this game where they give $1 to a hospital, and then the federal government matches the dollar, and then the state taxes some of the dollar away. In other words, that we have an agreement with the states that they're going to match, but then they have this trick where they tax the hospitals after they give them the money, so really it's the federal government giving them the money. And that's why we've been overspending Medicaid by 20% since this trick started happening. And so what we've done is that we've put a haircut on that, but we've also put $50 billion into a trust fund to make sure that the rural hospitals are there to treat the sick. And so I think this is a prudent reform. It's sound budgetary politics, and I think that nobody's going to lose their insurance.
Kevin Hassett, we will watch for how that ages. Sure. Thank you very much. Really appreciate your time.
If I get it wrong, we'll check, and we'll talk about why I got it wrong, I promise.
Thank you. We'll have you back.